Hi, boys and girls. Today, I have Anna here with me today. Say hi, Anna. And Anna and I are going to talk about doing a retell. Can you say retell?
Retell.
Retell. A retell is when you retell a story. When you hear a story and then you retell it to say what happened. And I have a little poster today to help us remember. It says story retell. When we retell a story, we say the setting. Say setting.
Setting.
The setting is the time and the place. Where were they in the story? Where did the story happen? The characters. Who was in the story? Who were the characters? And then we say what happened at the beginning. Say beginning. Middle.
Middle.
End. Very good. So we always want to start at the beginning and say what happened. We start at the beginning and we say what happened. So if I was doing a retell, Anna, like of my day yesterday, would I start with what I ate for dinner?
No, you would start with breakfast.
Oh, I might start with what I ate for breakfast, wouldn't I? Yeah, because that happened in the beginning of the day. And then what might I talk about in the middle of my day?
Lunch.
What I ate for lunch. And then how about at the end of my day?
Dinner.
What I ate for dinner. Yeah. So when we retell something, we start at the beginning and then we say the middle and then the end. So we have a story we're going to read today.
One of my favorites.
One of Anna's favorites. This is Fancy Nancy's Saturday Night Sleepover. It's written by Jane O'Connor and illustrated by Robin Price Glacier. And Anna loves this story. So I want you to listen carefully because at the end we're going to do a retell of our story.
Wait, one of my favorites is this picture over here.
Oh, Anna wants to show you the picture on the title page. There's Nancy. She's so fancy. Okay. Wait until you hear this. My mom just won a weekend at the Whispering Pines Resort. A resort is like a motel, only way fancier, with tons of outdoor recreation.
And then here are the outdoor recreations.
So when do we leave? I asked. Should I start packing now? Actually, only Dad gets to come with me, my mom says. I am flabbergasted. That's fancy for shocked. But, you and Dad won't have any fun without JoJo and me.
Wait, where did that say? Oh, yeah.
It's only one night, my mom points out. Then she makes a call and tells us that my sister and I will get to sleep over at Mrs. Devine's.
Yay.
Oh, that's way better. I adore Mrs. Devine. Even if her house isn't a resort, it's by far the fanciest in the neighborhood. JoJo is not as reasonable as I am. No, she cries. Don't go, I'll miss you. Let me handle this, I tell my mom. I'll be with you the whole time, I explain to my sister, so you won't get scared or lonely. JoJo will feel braver if we rehearse for the sleepover. Rehearsing is fancy for practicing, so we go over to Mrs. Devine's. In the guest room, I pretend to fall asleep. I snore a little to make it seem more real. Are you really asleep? JoJo asks. No, I say, but see how easy it will be? I may not have mentioned this, but I am practically an expert on sleepovers ever since Bree spent the night last Friday. Back at home, I show JoJo my photo album. Look at all the fun we had, I say.
But that's not done. That's her and Bree.
Although the real sleepover isn't until next Saturday night, we start packing. I also make a sleepover survival kit for JoJo. Here's what's in it, JoJo, I say. I show her the checklist. Sleepover checklist. Nightlight, because JoJo is scared of the dark. Earmuffs, to block out weird noises. JoJo's favorite sandwich, since she is a picky eater. Photo, so we can kiss Mom and Dad goodnight. Voila! I've thought of everything. Before we know it, the big night has arrived. When my parents leave, JoJo doesn't shed a single tear. She even eats all her dinner. It's chicken a la king, which is fancy and French. I'm very proud of my little sister. It turns out that Mrs. Devine is also an expert at sleepovers. We try out different hairstyles. We put on a fashion show. JoJo and I are practically dripping with jewelry. Later, we watch a movie. JoJo falls fast asleep before it ends. Mrs. Devine says, all the merriment has me exhausted too. She means she's wiped out from so much fun. Mrs. Devine carries my sister upstairs. Sweet dreams, she says once we're in bed, and she blows us a kiss. Soon, I hear snoring. Psst, JoJo, I whisper. Are you asleep or faking? No answer. It's very dark in here. Too dark. It couldn't hurt to turn on JoJo's nightlight. But soon I hear a weird noise. A scratch, scratch, scratching at the door. What could it be? I'm very courageous. That's fancy for brave. So I open it. Whew. It's only Frenchie. Still, I put on the earmuffs. Now I can't hear a thing. I can't even hear the clock ticking, but I see it's almost dawn. That's fancy for sunrise. I am still wide awake. Maybe I'm hungry. My mom says never go to bed on an empty stomach. I eat the sandwich I packed for JoJo, but it doesn't help. Neither does seeing my parents smiling at me. Oh, can you see in the picture? How's she feeling? Psst, JoJo, I whisper. Are you missing Mom and Dad? I am almost 100% positive, that's fancy for sure, that JoJo gives a little nod. So I curl up in bed with JoJo. I put my arm around her. I can tell my little sister feels much better. Bonne nuit, I whisper. That's French for good night. A moment later, my eyes start to close. The next day, the Clancys are reunited. We are all together again. JoJo wasn't scared, not with me there, I tell my parents. My dad scoops up both of us. There is nothing better than a sister. Okay, so we need to do our retell. And when we do a retell, we say the setting. Where were they in that story, Anna?
They were at the beginning and the end.
But where were they? Were they at a school? Were they at a beach? Where were they? Can you remember?
First, they were at home.
And then
Middle, they were.
Just what was the setting for the most of the story? Where were they?
Mrs. Devine.
They were at Mrs. Devine's house. Who were the characters in the story?
JoJo, Nancy, Mrs. Devine, and their mom and dad.
Yeah, JoJo, Nancy, Mrs. Devine, their mom and dad. That's the characters in the story. Very good. Now we do our retell. Now, when we do a retell, we don't say every single little thing that happened. We just start at the beginning, say what happened at the beginning, the middle, and the end. We kind of sum it up. Can you do that? What happened in the beginning of Fancy Nancy?
The beginning, Nancy thought that she was going with her parents to the little cabin.
Yeah, her mom won that contest, right? And she found out that mom and dad were going to be gone overnight. She thought she was going to get to go, but then she didn't. What happened in the middle?
In the middle, she showed JoJo. Well, she rehearsed.
She rehearsed. Mm-hmm.
And they started packing.
Yeah, they packed for their sleepover and rehearsed. Good. What happened at the end of the story?
The end of the story, they were, well, she put her arm around JoJo, and the next day she saw her mom and dad.
That's right. So kind of in the middle too was when they went to Mrs. Devine's, right? They rehearsed, they packed, they went to Mrs. Devine's, and then at the end of the story. But remember, in the middle, JoJo was the one who was scared. Who was scared at the end of the story?
Nancy.
Nancy. And what did she do? You just told me.
She put her arm around JoJo.
She crawled into bed and put her arm around JoJo, didn't she? And then you said that they got reunited with their parents at the end. Very good. So when we do a retell, we say the setting. Where were they? Who were the characters? What happened at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So I would like you today to read a story. You can find one you can read on your own, or maybe a grown-up or an older brother or sister could read to you. And I want you to practice doing a retell. Say the setting, the characters, what happened at the beginning, the middle, and the end.